Holy hell, Birdie, dude. This is it's a crazy nunnery that we saw here, huh? It's pretty
Hey,
wild, right?
I'm gonna tell you this, guys. None of y'all want to miss this review.
Jeez. All right, go ahead and hit it, dude. God dang it. What's going on, guys and gals? Welcome to Good Will Hunting. Today, we're going to be giving y'all a review of the new movie Immaculate, starring Sweeney. Just hit theaters this week. And man, what a journey this movie was, Birdie, huh? Pretty crazy, yeah?
Please. But I'll just take. Okay, I have no words. But before we even could even attempt to talk about this movie, let's know what you all think about Immaculate. Did it just kind of leave you speechless like it just did me just that couple seconds ago? Or are you one of the few haters? Because I bet you there are a few haters about this movie. There was one couple in my theater who were a bunch of haters. Just let us know in that comment section. But Brad, I don't even know where the hell to start with this. I guess let's just go with the start of the show. To me, a very good candidate for Real Horror Awards Best Actress with Sydney Sweeney. We got to talk about her performance.
No, she was great, man. First off, of course, we're not going to be talking any spoils here today, so you're good.
Right.
If you haven't seen the movie, you're going to be fine. Yeah, she was great. I actually thought, I haven't seen, she's really popular right now, but I really haven't seen much with her in it personally. So this is, I have seen her before in smaller roles. She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a couple other things. But this is the first time I've seen her lead.
Her big comedy movie from last year of Anyone But You. And unfortunately, we do not talk about the other movie that she was in called Madam Web. So we're not going to talk about that. We don't count that. We will not count that against you, Sydney.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that. So this is really my introduction to her as a lead. I thought she was great in the movie. From beginning to end, a lot of great sequences. There's one, I'll go ahead and say it. I mean, and again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending of this movie is absolutely fucking insane. Like, it's absolutely crazy, and the way that she portrays herself in that scene is outstanding. There's a one take scene in this that is, she absolutely cries. She goes through so many different things, and one scene alone, she brings it. And she's that scene right there is going to be one of my favorite scenes of the year. I think I already got it on my list for possible nominations for the end of this year for the Good Real Horror Awards, or the Real Horror Awards for 2025. Outstanding, man. I mean, it leaves you, when you leave the movie, like, you almost kind of forget like the build up. It's just like, oh damn, man, that just left me in a place that I didn't know about. So yeah, but it was great. I love the way the movie ended.
Yeah, dude, I love the way the movie ended as well. And actually, from what I saw on social media from our good friend Victoria over at Flopbuster and the Final Ghouls, she even said at the bench that last scene still lives rent-free in her head. And now I am one of those other people that can say that scene lives rent-free in my head, and it's going to be living there for a very, very long time. Very disturbing, but it's just something that you're not going to forget about it. It'll stick with you throughout the entirety of the year because it's that effective of a scene, and it's so well done. And Sydney is the reason behind that. So props to her. And Brad, you said a one-take scene, so that even impresses me more, especially like with directing and all that, like, because those are very hard to pull off, especially in this movie. And I have the one idea. I think I know what that scene is. If it is that particular scene, like, bravo.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing I want, like the other big thing I want to talk about, and we can talk about little things too, is just the actual story of this movie. Once everything gets revealed, very, very original, and just an idea I never thought about until I see this particular movie. I'm like, all right, well played for whoever wrote this story and had pretty much of a sick fucking mind. Bravo.
Yeah, Michael Mohan, the director, did a great job with a lot of different scenes, that one in particular, and then obviously built suspense throughout. The story, if you didn't see the synopsis for it, the character that Sydney Sweeney's playing, she goes and she joins this convent, aka a nunnery, where she is jumping in as a nun. She's dedicating her life to, to her religious beliefs, and weird shit goes on. It says in this, so she gets there, she becomes pregnant without ever having sex. So that's kind of the whole crux of the story. We're learning that virgin, pregnant, what the hell? It's crazy. So the movie in general throughout will give you this Rosemary's Baby vibe, but it's also kind of mixed with like a Suspiria vibe because she's going to this new environment. In this case, it's the nunnery, and Suspiria, it's the dance class or whatever, or club or whatever it was. It's kind of got some of those vibes, Rosemary's Baby's vibes as well throughout. I got that a lot throughout the movie, and it's really kind of shot the same. You know, there's a lot of kind of throwbacks to that kind of style of horror. And, you know, it is a slow burn movie, but it's only an hour and a half. So the pacing's actually pretty good the whole time. You're engaged in the story. You know, you're sitting there and you're moving right along the whole time. It moves along pretty quickly. So I appreciate it. It's kind of a mix between a, you know, I don't know. It's a slow burn, but at the same time, it moves quick. I like it.
Yeah, man. And also a great point about being short, because you know me, bro, I like a short movie when it's called upon, and this movie definitely is called upon on that. So definitely a slow burn, but it's an hour and 29-minute movie, so it does fly by, especially if you're invested into the story, which, trust me, you absolutely will be. And then, Brad, when I was watching this movie, I easily saw what you were talking about with the mix of Suspiria and Rosemary's Baby. And if some of you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of those type of movies. However, it works in this one. I would probably say 85% Rosemary's Baby and 15% Suspiria. Suspiria, definitely you'll see at the beginning of this movie. If throughout the most of it, the entirety, it is Rosemary's Baby. So if you're a fan of both of those movies, this is a movie definitely for you.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, most of the scares here, most of the horror in this movie is psychological because of that. You know, the whole story is a very psychological horror, you know, through and through. But at the same time, this movie gets gory as hell, gets brutal as hell. There's some nasty moments in this thing that really kind of come out of nowhere. And I think in general, like most of that stuff landed pretty well. Some good blood in here. You know, some things, you know, there's some you know, it just, you know, there's a lot of stuff in it that happens that just like, hey, holy shit, that came out of nowhere, but I like it and I dig it. Couple jump scares that honestly weren't really needed for this movie popped up. That's a couple things that I noticed, but in general, man, the vibe of it, the atmosphere inside this, you know, confined nunnery, if you will, outstanding. It's not a place I would want to spend a summer, but it, you know, outstanding. I think it was great for that.
Yeah. If I have to pick between this nunnery and Detroit, I would be picking Detroit.
What about the one with Whoopi Goldberg?
Oh, dude, give me that sister tag, baby. Hallelujah. Another person, like the only two cast people I want to talk about real quickly, because I thought they did a nice job and I wanted them to get their flowers. It's Father Sal. That's why I'm just in short. Father Sal, who's played by Alvaro Morti. I thought he did a very good job in this movie. And I also liked Cecilia, which that is a Sydney character's name, Sister Cecilia, and her friend that she kind of gets to be attached with a little bit in this movie is Sister Gwen. I'm not even going to begin like explaining what her name is or make it even an attempt at it because it will go wrong. But I thought she did a good job in this as well as a side character.
Yeah, I thought she was good too. Yeah, I like that quite a bit overall. I think those characters were solid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brad, other than that, man, like without going too much in spoiler territory, yeah, I got nothing else. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I will say that I think this is like going back on horror films that's like heavily themed around a religion per se. This has to be one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. You know, it definitely smokes the pants off of Exorcist Believer or whatever that shit. But this one obviously super deep roots in religion, and it works. I think it's one of the better examples we've seen that in a long time, and one of the scarier examples that we've seen of that. I think, you know, from a psychological standpoint, because that's what this movie is. It's, you know, it digs into that, and yeah, I think it does a good job with it.
Yeah, and even at one point, it like did a really good job, like really questioning your beliefs. And I know that's like frowned upon, like it did like dare challenge you. But horror, like the world of horror movies, kind of like they challenge you, like to kind of like doubt, like to try to challenge themselves to get the viewer to doubt themselves in some very sensitive subjects. And I feel like this movie can really do that, but very like in an appropriate way. Like it's nothing like too down your throat or anything like that. It's just like maybe like one particular thing in general. I was like, Oh shit, that's actually a very good point. But like, other than that, though, you're still going to have a good time with this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you will. Yeah, it definitely, yeah, it does a good job with all that. It handles it well. So I think, yeah, it's yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. I think even if this is something that you might not think you're into because you're usually not into these kind of slower neon style movies, give it a shot. I think you might end up liking it because again, it's got a shorter run time. It's not really boring at any point. And it's got enough in there to kind of keep you excited. And the ending alone is worth watching this movie.
Absolutely.
Even if that's all you get from it, it's outstanding. It's going to be one of the best scenes of the year, I think, for sure.
And probably going to be honest with you, maybe even one of the more controversy
it could be
scenes of the years, or like definitely in the 2020s, one of the most controversial scenes. So we're just going to leave you at that. So Brad, how would you rate this?
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Another solid 4 out of 5. 2 this weekend. Yeah, I really I'll go with that.
Well, since we don't have like a movie rating system right now, because again, that is under construction right now, we're going to be talking about it and bring you something more fun and engaging with it. So don't have to do math. So I'm actually going to give this around a 4.25. Maybe if they twerk some like lighting and cinematography, because there were a lot of scenes where it was like really dark, or like when the characters were talking, they were kind of talking like this and all that. You really want to hear them. Like just little stuff like that. They would just have tuned it a little bit. It could easily be a 4.5. So let's just reward it 4.25.
I dig it. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. So, guys, that is it for this particular review. We both suggest you all get to the theater if you can to see this. And if not, I would definitely call this rent-worthy. So, before we get out here, we want to ask you guys, what did you all think about Immaculate? Did you all really enjoy this movie? Like Brad says, do you think this is actually one of the better religion horror movies that came out in some time? Or this movie disturbed you and you want nothing to do with it? Let us know in the comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, our links to all of our socials are right down there in the description. Go check them out. Hit them up. Find us.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we're back on the TikTok game and the YouTube short game. So a lot of content's coming on there, like out theater reaction reviews, like Brad did one for Immaculate, actually. So after you watch this, go ahead and support that short as well. Much more content's coming your way. So without then, Brad, I want nothing to do with you anymore. I'll see you later.